Hi, it's Debs from Soul Harmony Yoga. Our blog today is around letting go of resistance. And I wanted to share today how I use my own yoga practice to let go of resistance, particularly to change. So I've spent quite a bit of time recently as we travel around Australia. We're moving into different houses as we house sit. And I found that I've actually had to let go of resistance to the new places that I've found myself in. And it's always a bit of a surprise when this happens, as I know that I'm creating the life that I want and I'm making conscious choices along the way. But to be honest, sometimes it doesn't always feel that good, and it's quite strange when I've actually made those choices. So bizarrely, I've had a really achy back for the last few weeks, and I've practiced yoga daily to help to relieve it, but it just wouldn't shift. It got me thinking really about my students and how sometimes I have students who have come to classes or have practiced the online classes and have fed back that the back pain has disappeared quite literally after one class. And then, of course, they need to have a regular practice after that to maintain their spinal health. And for other students, sadly, they can be suffering from back pain for so many years. So I wanted to chat today about how I eventually got rid of the back pain and how that involved releasing some resistance, really, and then how I maintained it after I'd released the back pain. So I did have the help of a couple of really fantastic practitioners to guide me through this. And firstly, with one of the practitioners, I looked at the balance of being and doing. And to be honest, this is a constant for me. I'm really active, I'm really creative, but often I can let this take over, allowing space for things to develop naturally, and also to take time out to look after and nourish myself. So I can be quite impatient. I don't know if that's because I'm a Chinese ox. I get really stubborn and I get fixed on ideas. And sometimes it is quite difficult to see something from another perspective. So how do I get this to balance? So of course I use yoga meditation, and I give myself extra time to spend on my meditation. And I'd find that when I spend more time on meditation, that I'm open to my wiser self and answers from my wiser self rather than answers just from my ego, which when I get answers from my ego, it just tends to keep me really busy. So you may think as a yoga teacher that this is really easy, but I believe that we teach what we actually need to learn. So I'm actually really grateful to be a yoga teacher because I'm constantly refining these skills and learning them for myself and then teaching others. So my second epiphany came when I had the most amazing massage. And discussing with Lorraine, who gave me the massage, we got to chatting about resistance. And it really was an epiphany for me because although mentally I know this stuff inside out, it's really the practice of it that is important. So in the massage, Lorraine asked me to breathe into this really sore spot in the middle of my back. And it did take quite a while. I was kind of like, yes, I'll breathe into it. Yes, I'm breathing into it. It's not shifting. Oh, it's not going to go. And I find I had this kind of dialogue. And then she reminded me that my body was telling me something. Listen to the message. And when I did that, I actually felt that I got some relief after a minute or so. And then we moved on in the massage. But I really had, the key point was that I had to be with it. I had to accept that feeling. And then there was some relief from it. So it wasn't until the next day in my yoga practice where I put on some music from YouTube, and I've put a link in the blog below for some really lovely music that I use. And I really focus on letting go. So I did a short yoga practice first, one of my 10-minute shorter yoga practices. And then I led down to explore this resistance a little bit more. And as I relaxed on my mat, I just felt layer upon layer of tension in my body. And I just felt where it was coming from, and I concentrated on the feeling of tightness, and I was asking my body what it was trying to tell me. And eventually I got some answers after a while that made sense to me, but it wasn't until a few layers had actually gone. And when I say a layer, I mean I felt into, oh wow, that feels really tight. I felt like my whole arms and legs, like I was some kind of sergeant major. But I didn't notice that until I actually went a little bit deeper into a relaxation. So I ended up continuing this process for almost an hour, and I can tell you the relief on my back was quite enormous, and I had some really major, aha moments that actually made quite a lot of sense to me. So really my back was trying to tell me to go with the flow. I don't need to try so hard with everything and try and stay in control of everything. And it was about allowing myself to relax and enjoy this journey that I've wanted to be on for so long. Just go with it. So I hope that you can use this experience to reduce some of the tension that you find in both your body and your life as you're practicing the yoga. So I invite you in your next yoga practice to notice where you're feeling any resistance. There's some really lovely meditations on our website. You might want to try the heart meditation or the spinal flow meditation to really hone in on where you feel a more subtle tension within your body. And it's surprising what you find sometimes and how different you might feel afterwards. So when you find some tension, just accept that tension, feel into what that feels like in your body and just be with it and allow it to be there. And it's usually after a few breaths that you'll start to maybe get some answers about what that tension is about, or a situation might pop into your mind. Just notice how it works for you. So I would recommend, it's always easier to meditate after you've done a yoga practice. So there's some shorter yoga classes on the website if you want to go through one of those first, if you don't have much time, or for an even deeper experience, practice one of the hour sessions with the relaxation and then go on to meditation, and you'll find that your meditation experience is a lot easier when you've given yourself an hour to really calm and relax your nervous system first. So if you're not signed up to our website, have a look at the 7-day trial and try the classes out for yourself and see how you feel. So I wish you all the very best on your journey to inner balance, well-being and energy. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.